Okay, are you about ready for lesson number 3, Mr. Ramsey?
I think so.
All right, now listen closely.
I think I've got it.
Oh, my gracious!
That was very nice.
Oh, well, Professor Pickens, what's happening today?
Why, I was just giving my friend Mr. Ramsey here a few lessons in saxophonology.
Saxophonology? Well, you're taking your lessons very well. That sounded good,
great
Mr. Ramsey.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
he
He's
is.
a
The
fine
professor
student.
is very
That's right.
talented. Yes, he is. You call this what, Mr. Ramsey?
It's called a saxophone, and it's named after a man named Adolph Sax who invented this instrument.
So it has his name.
That's right.
A saxophone. Well, now, I'd love to hear the way it sounds. Wouldn't you, boys and girls? Would you play something for us so we can hear it?
How about a tune that everyone would know, like Eensy Weensy Spider?
Sure, we know that, don't we? Yes, let's hear it.
Okay.
That's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Oh,
Does it hurt your ears, Hambo?
oh, no.
I'm sorry it hurt your ears. Well, I really like the sound.
Okay.
Please make
Goodness, Professor, you know, I like the sound of this baby one a little better on that song. What about you boys and girls? Well, now then, you know, what kinds of songs do you normally play?
Well, you can play all types of songs on the saxophone. It's a very versatile instrument. In fact, you could even do all kinds of sound effects on this instrument.
Sound effects?
Sure.
Well, that would be fun. Like what kinds of sounds?
Well, how about a truck?
A truck?
Yeah.
This can sound like a truck?
Sure.
I want to hear that. Don't you, boys and girls? Let's hear it.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that reminds me of that big old truck almost ran over me the other day.
Oh, gee, well, Hambo, you
every
need
day.
to stay out of the street.
Oh, that's
yes,
true.
you do. Well, it did sound like a truck. Can yours sound like a truck? That sounds like a race car, Professor.
It's a real fast truck, Mrs.
Oh,
Cabobble.
I see. A very fast truck. What else can it sound
Well,
like?
how about a bee?
A bee?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, I thought there was a bee in my bonnet for a minute there.
Well, Monica, it did sound like a bee, didn't it?
Oh,
Isn't that
yes.
amazing, Professor? Can your saxophone sound like a bee?
Well, let me see, Mrs. Cabobble. Well, I mean, it sounds more like a gnat.
Well, it is a little higher, isn't it, boys and girls?
Yes, ma'am, but I can make one sound.
What is that, Professor?
Why, that was dancing noodles, Mrs. Cabobble.
Dancing noodles! Well, okay, Professor. I guess it does sound like a dancing noodle. I've never seen a dancing
I think
noodle.
that was
have you?
it, though.
I think it was, too. So, now, let's continue to talk about our saxophone friends here, because I've been noticing a big fella down here.
That's right. That's kind of the granddaddy of the saxophone family.
And I wondered what he might sound like.
Well-
Look at the difference in size, boys and girls. Oh, my gracious. What is he called?
It's called the bass saxophone, and it produces the lowest notes in the saxophone family.
The lowest notes.
Right.
Because it's the biggest,
biggest one.
instrument. All right, maybe we could hear some of
Sure.
those low notes, Mr. Ramsey.
Oh, it sounds just like my grandma, Minnie May.
love that sound. And you know, I was looking down here where the sound was coming out. And you know, Mr. Ramsey, I was absolutely amazed at the difference in size of the bell, where the sound comes out on both of the instruments. Oh, my. Well, does he only play low notes, or?
It can play higher notes. I can play some of those for you, too.
All right, I'd love to hear them. Wouldn't you, boys and girls?
Ooh, what
Pretty
a beautiful
sound.
mellow
Nice sound.
And you make the pitch, the sound exactly the same way.
It's
with
the same way.
The mouthpiece.
And the reed, only this time the mouthpiece and reed are much larger.
I guess they are. Look at the
That's
difference in that size. My
But
gracious.
they share all those characteristics, and it makes it a member of the saxophone family.
All right. Now, you know what I think would be fun? If we were to sing a song together and you could
I
accompany
can accompany
us.
everyone, yeah.
Let's see, what song? How about When the Saints Go Marching In? We know that
yes,
song,
I
don't
know
we?
that song.
Do you not,
Yeah.
Professor?
Oh,
Could we
yeah.
all do it together? All right, you accompany us, and we'll come in and sing.
Okay.
Now, boys and girls, you've got to sing, so sit up straight and tall. Sing right out, and let's hear what it sounds like when we all make music together. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. Oh, my gracious! Professor, that was wonderful!
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Cabobble.
You know, I did not know that the professor could play that saxophone so well. Did you, boys and girls? And you have done so well taking lessons from him,
Well, he's a
Mr.
great
Ramsey.
teacher.
And he's a fine student, Mrs. Cabobble.
I guess he
Practices
is.
very much.
Does he practice a lot? How much do you have to practice to be able to play all of these instruments, Mr. Ramsey?
Well, it depends on how good you want to get. But I would say a professional saxophonist would practice 2 to 3 hours a day.
2 to 3 hours a day. So you really do have
Have
to
to work,
practice.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, anything you do well, you need to practice on.
That's right.
Which one did you start your playing on, Mr.
On
Ramsey?
the alto saxophone, this is the most commonly used member of the saxophone family.
Ah, I see. So normally then we would hear this one.